Wish you all the best this morning as you go to the mosque in the afternoon to worship our God. Thank you very much to all who sent out messages of well wishes, speedy recovery, and all of that to me. I'm happy. I don't take that for granted at all. Those who called, those who sent messages asking what was happening. Well, you remember that we had gone to Keta for 2 times to attend to them after the tidal waves. We also showed our scorecard there when we came to you and we asked for you to support us to be able to give them some relief items because obviously what NADMO, the National Disaster Management Organization, had given them was a disaster. So we took from you and gave to the people what they needed. We scratched them where they itch. So the first time we went there to do a needs assessment. NADMO also went there to do a needs assessment. But as a private entity, we collaborated with Early Beach Resort and we decided that we'll take what you give us, and we went to Angnoga and we went to go and deliver it to them. So on that second occasion, I slipped off the stairs, twisted my ankle, and yesterday it had an effect again, so I had to go quickly see a medic, which was why I couldn't come. So apologies if you were waiting for Johnnie's bite and you didn't get it. I don't take your support and your viewership for granted at all. And I also learned incidentally that some people were excited, jubilating. Ideally when people are ill, like the finance minister is ill, people will sympathize and empathize. Like the vice president was ill, like the president will go for medical checkup, like the speaker of parliament, like any other person will go for medical checkup, or people even decide to go and have their babies outside and not at Kolebu or Konfanochi or Ridge Hospital, even though they are in government and they tell us that everything here is fine, the situation is okay. You sympathize and empathize with them. But hey, people were jubilating. But you know what? The good book has said it. The Bible said it, that if all men like you, woe unto you. So it's okay for some people to jubilate for whatever reason. That's fine. But this morning we are back again to the real issues. And you see, for me, the key thing is this. If you put a question and you ask Mr. Abrahams, why are you not 6 feet tall? And he says you are a fool. It means Mr. Abrahams does not have an answer that is satisfactory to the question you are asking. So Mr. Abrahams would rather choose to abuse you and tell lies about you. So the last thing I heard about myself was that, and you remember on Monday I had spoken about street children, right? I spoke about street children. Oliver, if you have the video, you can play a bit of it. I spoke about street children, having spoken about it so many times before now. Bright Appear of Child Rights International had given me the tape because I saw it on social media. I asked him for the original copy and then played it. And I asked questions. Which questions inspired the minister who is acting now on behalf of the Gender, Children and Social Protection Minister to go on a tour to get an understanding of a problem that has been with us for so long a time. They drive through town, they see them. Now, when I asked those questions, it pushed the minister out. In fact, the minister who is acting deserves a bit of commendation. Because the minister who was there, who is on leave, but found time to come to Parliament to come and pass a budget. Lawyer Joasafu, we were told she was on leave, right? And we didn't even know when the leave was ending, correct? But she found time to come and pass a budget. Well, there's controversy whether it was her or it wasn't her. That is not my business. The police, CID, and the rest can investigate that. But I'm saying that we were told that she was on leave, which was why she was not at the ministry, and which was why she was silent when the 19 boys at Kupi JHS were sodomized by their social studies teacher who should have taught them sense. Which was why issues of rape and all of that was going on. We're told that she was on leave, correct? So Madam Cecilia Abnadapa was made to come and act. She has gone out there to do an assessment. And I found it necessary to speak about the future on the street because institutions like Child Rights International, Oliver, play the video. Child Rights International had spoken about a similar thing, and I thought it was it. Guess what? While I was talking about this situation, children on the streets, like that, children on the streets, while I was talking about this, children who have been left on the street, while I was speaking about it and calling on the government and the relevant authorities to do something about it. They said I had impregnated somebody 3 years ago and the baby is there and I don't come to collect the baby. Cheap. Cheap coming from the president. Cheap. Presidency, cheap. It's the cheapest and lowest. Meanwhile, what we are doing is using the Akufado Principle. Do you know what the Akufado Principle is? The Akufado Principle is enshrined in the 1992 Constitution. I showed you the other time. Probity and accountability. President Akufado, as candidate Akufado, led demonstrations. This was the video I spoke about. And they said I have a child somewhere that I have not fathered. My wife and I laughed over it. So the truth of the matter is that if my wife had been a fool, my house would be on fire at this time. That's what they are looking for. Instead of answering the questions, they are trying to unsettle you. They are trying to intimidate you. And the worst part is that they will arrest you, detain you, charge you, take you to court, and remand you. We are using the Akufado Principle. The Akufado Principle from Kumi Preko, that his relatives at Chebi, in that documentary that was done about him, said, Owakukudro, is the same principle we are using. We are not insulting anybody. We're just asking simple questions. This is the future on the streets. If I would talk about these children and somebody would loosely say, an old man with gray hair in his nose, in his eyebrow, and his hair would say that because of this, speaking about these children, and look at their counterpart, speaking about this is the reason I have a child, that's fine. It's okay. The people who spend your taxes, Oliver, come back to studio, let them see my face. The people who feed on your taxes, they are the ones who are talking like that. They are the ones. And you see, I've been asking for government to show us the scorecard. I have been asking for a simple scorecard. That, oh, we have done well for you, we have done well. What is your scorecard? The children will vacate very soon. In fact, yesterday, some were forced to vacate right there and there. The JHS pupils, they were forced to vacate right there and there. They will take their scorecards home, right? English, math, science, social studies, ICT, building technology, whatever. Now they have changed their course, some of the courses or subjects. They'll take their scorecards to their parents, right? And go and show it. Some parents will decide that, oh, you didn't do well this term, so I won't buy you the shoe I promised you. Some parents will decide that, oh, you didn't do well this term, so I bought this for you. I'll show it to you, but I'll keep it. Where is your scorecard? And I want you watching this morning to also tag them and tweet at them. Tag the president if you're on Twitter. Tag the president if you're on Facebook. Tag the vice president if you're on Twitter and Facebook. If you know a minister, tag them. If you know a presidential staffer, you know a government appointee, tag them. With the hashtag, where is your scorecard? Can we do that now? Let's do that. Ask, where is your scorecard? Pick your phone. Pick your phone and let's do it together. Ask them, where is your scorecard? Because you see, they are not in power for themselves. I keep telling you this. Now, the Akufado Principle is drawn, as I've explained to you, from the preamble of the, the 1992 Constitution. The second part is the national anthem. It says, God bless our homeland, Ghana, and make our nation great and strong, bold to defend forever the cause of freedom and of right. Fill our hearts with true humility, make us cherish fearless honesty, and help us to resist oppressors' rule with all our will and might forevermore. Fearless honesty. That's what they're asking for us. And you see, the things we say here, nobody has been able to, for example, say that, oh, what he said is a lie. Oliver, pull out that screenshot of Dr. Buzia. Professor Kofi Abrefa Buzia is one of the founding, if you like, founding fathers of the tradition which today is NPP. He met the press. Pull up that, let's read a bit of what Professor Buzia had to say. Pull that up. Pull that up on the screen for me, please. And let's read a bit of what Professor Buzia said after he had met the press. Now, this is what Professor Buzia had said. Press freedom. He was talking about press freedom. That's the first one. Press freedom. Has the president met the press this year? Has he met the press this year, or you can explain? Because the president needs to meet the press. Dr. Abrefa Buzia, he was meeting the press. This is in 1969. 1969, Professor Buzia, he met the press. And I'll read a portion of it for you. I want to enlarge it so I can read a portion of it for you. It said, press freedom is perhaps more vital for the steady growth of the young developing nations of Africa than it is for the already advanced nations of the world. This is because in countries such as Ghana, the press has a vital role to play as a reliable, unbiased watchdog, both of the interest of the government and the governed. That's what it says. It says it's usually vital that for the press to play their role successfully, due cognizance be given to the institutions and due importance attached to it. That is what it says. And it says most of the world's advanced countries most of the world's advanced countries, one has to bear in mind, enjoy an enviable continuity in government, largely because of the respect of which their leaders attach to the functions of the press. They attach to the functions of the press. That is what it says. I'll not continue to read now. This is why the Prime Minister, for example, met the press many years ago. So now, the question about press freedom, and the conversations about whether or not the press is doing the right job will come up. I'm not saying that the press is beyond reproach. I am not saying that the press is beyond criticism. I am not saying that the press is also not too happy that people are. And come back to the studio. The press is not beyond criticism, but when you want to criticize somebody, you criticize them with facts and figures, not lies, vile propaganda, and insults. So, for example, if you bunch all journalists together, the journalists who followed President Akufado in 2012, 2016, 2020, before that in 2008, and you bunch all of them and you say they are dunderheads, as in they are stupid, it rubs off the president. That because somebody is speaking up, they're stupid. And you are not answering the questions they are asking, rather you are attacking their persons and the media houses that they work. Shame on you. Because when we come talking, we don't, for example, say that, oh, somebody's lower lip is too long, it's always, what do you call it, oiled with saliva, and when he speaks, it spits all over, but he's still advising big people. We don't say that. We don't say that somebody has a bald head or whatever it is. You don't insult people. You answer the questions that people ask. So then I ask again, since the tidal waves hit Keta, Anglon, and Ketu South, has the president visited the place? No. The president has given Accra Hearts of Oak, my team, 1 million Ghana cedis. Did the president visit the place? No. So when you ask the question and you can't explain to me why the president has not been able to visit the place, there's a concern. Then you ask a question again. The Agric Minister said we have had a double yield of cereals particularly and other food, and that the president and both the Agric Minister said in Parliament that we have become a net exporter of food, that we have warehouses that store some of the food that we have had, and that we have too much food available that now if you go to the market, you can get a bunch of plantain which used to sell at 40 Ghana cedis for 4 cedis. I asked, which market insult arrives? And then I say, look, basic economics says that if you have excess of what is being demanded, the price drops. Why is it that we have a double yield of maize and yet the price of a bag of maize is twice the price that we knew in 2016, 2017? Insults, attack, intimidation. Why? Is that how we govern? Is that how we govern the people? Is that what we promised the people? Is that what we promised? Is that what we told the people we're going to do? Oliver, I just sent you 2 new screenshots. Play for me. Now, the only time I have had an engagement with the state-owned enterprises, SEC, now SIGA, was only one. I worked with Mr. Stephen Enti here. And he invited me to one engagement with Mr. Stephen Asamoah Boateng together with Roland Walker, Francis Aban, a couple of other journalists. Now, he met us to tell us his vision. He met us to show us his vision, tell us his vision. And they also gave us a copy of the SIGA Act, which I still have. On that occasion, I even asked why, if we want independence for these institutions and we want them to declare profit, why is the president littered all over the act? Because it doesn't clearly give the people the right to and the freedom to operate. And the fact that even every appointment that had to be done necessarily had to be done by the president. I asked that question. And I also asked the gender question, why we had more than 11 or 12 people on a board and it had to be just one woman or one female representation in there. I asked that question too. It was only one meeting through Stephen Enti. So if anybody tells you that they have invited me, I've always been on their list, they are liars. And they say in my language, onupamale, opening onchantro, onupamale, lies. Because when you say all manner of things and it catches up to you, you must be responsible enough to accept the things that you have said. You must be responsible. Oliver, pull up the what do you call it? Now, the state-owned enterprises, SIGA, they've been, and they've been declaring losses. I showed you my scorecard. I told you from 2017 up until now, when we joined TV3 New Day, TV3 New Day was not number one. We have worked to make TV3 New Day number one, which is why all the clients in Ghana want to advertise with us, and TV3 particularly. We have showed you also how we have increased the margins on Geopol and Ipsos. Ashimashi, who says that he wants to now teach the press their work because he writes 1 or 2 articles. And yesterday I was at Presec. The Form 1 boys and Form 2 boys at Presec, they write beautifully. They showed me articles that they had written. Form 1 and Form 2 boys, beautiful articles. So if you follow a presidential candidate and you are writing a report, if you like myself, or how was your day, kind of article or feature, and you put it out there, it doesn't make you a journalist. And that's the thing we get wrong. Because journalism is not like medicine, architecture, or law, which we have to take a licentiate exam for, which the 1992 Constitution allows for everybody to practice. Then, so everybody thinks that, oh, once I can write 1 or 2 pages or 3 pages, I'm a journalist. That's not it. If you know the nuances in journalism, you would appreciate journalists. And tell you what, I also have a degree in public relations. I know that journalism is free. But public relations is planned, is deliberate, is paid for. So when you expect the journalists now, beyond all the people you pay and hire and people who willingly come up to want to defend everything that government does, whether it is right or wrong, including what the president himself apologizes for. Because the president went to Cape Coast, he said that I never promised you a harbor. When we knew and heard him and Vice President Baumia that they had promised the people of Cape Coast a harbor. He comes back and people are defending it. What hurts me is when young people defend all manner of nonsense. Something that is not sensible is nonsensical. Young people defend nonsense. Only for the man himself, the man you are defending, who said what he said and which has emboldened you to go round media stations on your Facebook and social media walls to be defending, comes back and sits in Accra on Peace FM to say, don't go there, I got it wrong. When Kwame started the question, no, please, don't go there, I got it wrong. So he cuts your nose to spite your face. You have still not learned your lessons. You are busy defending. You are defending Carlos Ahinkra, even though he said it, that if you don't use Momo, you not pay. So if you don't want to pay e-levy, don't use your Momo. He said it. Then they put up something and said it is fake, and you are busy sharing it. You don't consider your integrity. You don't consider your future. You don't consider your children, your relatives. That's un-Ghanaian. That's so un-Ghanaian. And I'm saying that I have a PR degree. PR is deliberate, planned, and paid for. If after all the people you give money to go and defend, because you have an information ministry, there are people working there, we have a spokesperson for everything. We have spokespersons at the various ministries, departments, and agencies. We have PROs paid. We have presidential staffers who take delight in defending everything on social media. If you have all these people, why do you need me to be the one trumpeting what you are doing? Simple question is, if they are not living up to the bill, sack them and bring people who are competent to do the work. Why? Now look at this. SIGA, state-owned enterprises, they posted 586.4 million losses in 2019. 2019 was where the man who said he wants to teach journalists how to do our job, and we have proven to him that we were number one, and we were number one since 2018. He wants to show us our job, but the job that they gave to him, he posted 586.4 million losses. This is Quatrequa saying that I'll give you a new cloth. Quatrequa saying that I'll give you a new cloth. Let's go to teacher's laptop, because I don't even want to talk about NAPCO. Dr. Anya sat here in white on his birthday, all white, and told NAPCO beneficiaries that they will pay their October and September and October stipends, which they were owed. You can't give them permanent jobs as promised. You can't give them permanent jobs as promised. And what is due them, you have also refused to pay them. What kind of wickedness is that? So how do they survive? Have you thought about it? Because they have already told you that they are jobless. They want sustenance. They want jobs. They don't want to do Sakawa 419 and all those things. Armed robbery and whatever other social vices there could be. So they are asking you to pay them what's due them. You won't mind them. Ghana Statistical Service, the people who came to help you to count all of us, which data you are happy to announce and you are analyzing now to use for various developmental projects and agenda, they are asking you to pay them their monies. Electoral Commission, they are calling on you. The young people you call, they are calling on you to pay their monies. Youth in Afforestation are calling on you to pay their monies. NAPCO, Heal Ghana, you owe them more than 8 months. They are asking you to pay their monies. National Service, have you paid them their alawa? They are calling on you. So you owe nearly everybody. District assemblies, where is the common fund? You owe everybody. And instead of focusing on the job, you are rather interested in attacking people and insulting people and lying about people. Why? Is that a business of government? Look, I asked teachers to send me WhatsApp messages. You remember? I'll read a few of them and we'll wrap up. Now, it is about their laptops. Somebody has been telling me about the quality of the laptops. And he told me that, Johnny, I look at my i3. i3. And I look at the laptop they brought to me. And I feel very insulted as a teacher. I look at my i3 computer. And I look at the laptop they brought to me. I use an i7. I have an iMac as well. It says, I look at my i3 and I think that this is an insult. This is a teacher. And most of them cannot come out to speak because once they speak, there's victimization. They are transferred. Their teacher union sit quiet and stare. That's the teacher speaking. They are not happy. Do you know that within GES, there are also non-teaching staff? Some earn as low as 700, some 800 Ghana cedis. They are also saying that over 500 Ghana cedis has been deducted from their accounts just for a laptop that they possibly would not use for anything. Now, non-teaching staff or air cleaner and or work kitchen, there non-teaching staff who works in the kitchen, money your kitchen, mini a laptop or the bedding. Okay. Now, the deduction has been done, but yet to see the color of the computer. Again, I've heard that the distribution has begun since September 2021, and I don't have any idea when I'll get to Kede. Please, you can still ask NTC the following questions for me. Where is the certificate they promised to do for us after charging us 70 Ghana cedis? They again have to give us another certificate after taking 10 Ghana cedis each from about 450 teachers. Please note, they gave us lunch for about 2 hours lecture from Kede Eastern Region. must commend and thank you for doing splendid work for Mother Ghana. But permit me to mention to you, it baffles my mind why teachers will pay an item we have not seen, let alone assessing its quality. As the so-called one teacher, one laptop, I'm disappointed because I have not received any laptop as a teacher. Idris Abubakar, a teacher at Wa Municipal, Parisaga, JHS. Johnny, they took the money without giving us a laptop. Now we are learning that they took loan to buy the laptop and government fails to pay 70% of the deal. Interest has accumulated on it, and now the teachers have to pay those interests with the 30%. Does the government of Ghana have any respect for teachers? Even in GES, if you demand for the right thing to be done, you are either sent to a deprived community to cheat or forced to apologize to the authorities. Right now, teachers are forced to write lesson notes without textbooks. And curriculum. They claim everything is in a resource pack. Meanwhile, there's nothing reasonable there. That's what this teacher is saying. And I'll play a very final video for you to wrap up all of this position. Now it says, good afternoon, sir. On the one teacher, one laptop for almost 3 years now, since new curriculum was introduced, no single textbook to enhance teaching and learning. For some reasons best known to this union leaders, they rather opted to go and negotiate for laptops instead of pushing for textbooks as a first step. I smell the rat in this deal. Deductions are done without supply, and even interest on amount has been taken. Interest is charged on credit and not when you pick my money to now purchase the item for me. Our union leaders are a problem. After hearing of percentage, thinking capacity is broken. See, and somebody says, Johnny, I repair laptops. And I've received at least 4 of these laptops given to the teachers in 1 week for various problems. Display, hard disk, and overheating. I would not pay 300 cedis for these laptops. It must be returned. Side from Tamale. See, if I read some of the things for you, you will collapse. And that's what I want us to focus on. You see, again, these teachers are going to use the laptop to teach the children. Why are they having to pay for the tools that they have to use to work? We are interested in talking about digitalization. But what framework have we put in? What skills have we given the teacher? Or we assume that every teacher knows how to use a laptop and every teacher knows how to use the software. We must be careful, though. Because if we are not careful, one day we will wake up in this country and they will tell us that, oh, soldiers, the government will tell soldiers that, oh, and policemen that, oh, we have bought you guns, but because of the work you have to do, you have to buy your own bullets. That's what we are telling the teachers, literally. Because they will use the machines to work. Oliver, play this final video for me. I sent you a video. Play that video for me quickly, and then we will wrap up. And the teachers are complaining. And that is where we need to focus. 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 The business of government is to focus. It's not to be a talkative. That's the Akufado Principle. He said, I am a man in a hurry. We don't see the speed anymore, Mr. President. We are not feeling the speed. You told us in Parliament that it looks like people say, I look like a man in a hurry. Well, I am a man in a hurry. The man in a hurry does not do things like this. The man in a hurry pays people on time. The man in a hurry doesn't keep district assemblies starved. When you know that persons living with disability depend on those monies as well to survive. The man in a hurry doesn't do this. And this is my final video to you. Have a good morning. Enjoy.
Should you rumor to me?
I told master. I pay ye to my number. She said, my dad. Roma insecticide spray at that Roma. Enter Fred, enter Tia, make a cheha. No way. You make no. And Tonton Bako crown.